We got Jordan Johnson and his son joining us here on the program. Of course, Jordan's coming off a very impressive victory at UFC Fight Night 136. He got that second round submission over Adam Yadalev. Jordan, how are you, my man?
Doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing well. We'll start right there. Obviously, you got your son with you. How has fatherhood, treated you? The last time we talked, you were about to be a dad. Now that you're a dad, how has that changed your life?
It has completely changed my life. When my son was born, it was actually like being born again. It was just completely new person, completely new stage of life. Everything's changed and couldn't be happier. It's pretty incredible.
Good for you, man. And I know one of the changes you made as well is you've actually moved back to Arizona. How has that been, just being back home and, getting to be around family?
It's awesome. So we don't actually, I have roots here, but no family. My wife does have some family here. Power, I guess, kind of is, family, second family. It's great being back. Great support system here, great partners, great coaches, just a great atmosphere. So, my wife works. My wife's at work right now. So I go to the gym and Jack comes with me. And, I park, I take him in. I go out to grab all my stuff, grab his stuff. And by the time I get back in the gym, someone has them. Someone's wife, someone's girlfriend, someone's kid, one of the coaches. And so it's a great atmosphere to be back in.
Well, I'd say fatherhood's definitely changed you because we saw an incredible performance, like I mentioned off the top there at UFC Fight Night 136. You went into enemy territory and you came out with the second round finish. Just simple question, could that fight have gone any better in your opinion?
I don't think so. It went great. I think I could have, I came close to getting the finish in the first round. Maybe if I would have finished it in the first round, it would have been a little bit better, but, got a finish. I went 4-0 in the UFC. My first three were decisions, so it was nice to get back to. I was finishing everybody before I got to the UFC, so it was nice to get back and get a finish. So. And
that fight was at 185. How did you feel competing at middleweight?
I felt good. I'm a middleweight. I've been a middleweight fighting at light heavyweight just with a spare tire, so it's a good weight. Feels natural. Feels right. My weight was the same. The weight cut was the same as my weight cut from 205. I was just leaner, so it was actually even a little bit easier. But the numbers, the percentages, the weight I had to take off was the same. But being leaner actually makes it easier to cut the weight. It's easier to pull water out of muscle. So
I guess most important question, coming off a big win like that, what's the latest with you in the UFC? What is your contract status at the moment?
So I fought out my contract. They made an offer. I told them what I wanted. We were nowhere close on the numbers. I thought if I went out and did had a good performance, they would give me what I wanted. That wasn't the case. Technically, I'm still under contract with them. Even though I fought out my contract, I had to get my, I don't know what you call it, release or permission to go talk to other organizations. But just about every day, bugging my manager. I think he's sick of me blowing him up. But I'm ready to go talk with these other organizations and see what kind of deal I can make elsewhere. So I would love to stay in the UFC, but this is an incredibly dangerous sport. There's got to be some reward. So.
No, I hear you. And a guy like yourself, especially getting that win you had and you're undefeated and you're a relatively young guy. I would imagine that you're going to get a lot of offers once that period starts. So technically now, are you allowed to negotiate, or is there still like a negotiating period with the UFC?
Well, yeah. So I'm still in the period where I'm negotiating with the UFC, but I think we're not going to make a deal. So I think from a legal standpoint, I need to get permission to go negotiate and talk with other organizations. So that's where I'm at. I've had a couple organizations reach out to me, and I've just kind of, told them I don't feel comfortable talking just yet, but good chance you're going to see me somewhere besides the UFC.
Okay, interesting. And is there like a window, like when does that window end in terms of negotiating with the UFC? Because I think they can exclusively negotiate with you, and then you're allowed to go elsewhere.
Yeah, I think it's 90 days.
Okay.
So
how do you prepare for that? If there's a situation where, you guys aren't coming to terms, you just stay in the gym ready and then, hope something pans out soon, because 90 days is a long time to be on the shelf.
Yeah. Like I said, we agreed that it's probably not gonna work out. I would love for it to work out, but I just don't see that happening. So, like I said, I'm just kind of waiting to get permission to go talk to these other organizations, and I'm staying ready. I'm in the gym. I was in the gym this morning. I'm gonna get done with this. I'm heading back. So I imagine I would like to have a quick turnaround because my weight's still, still in striking range to make weight pretty easily, and I'm still in pretty good shape. So I'd like to turn around and, get something. So I imagine, once I figure out where I'm going, what I'm doing, whichever organization that is, they're going to want to book something pretty quick.
Right. And obviously something before the holidays, I would imagine, too, because you want to get to eat a little bit on the holidays, right?
Yeah. I mean, it'd be great to be able to turn around, fight again, and then have the holiday season to, we got a lot of firsts coming up, first Thanksgiving, first Christmas, first Halloween. Like, obviously, I'm not going to fight before Halloween, but it'd be nice to, the few years I have left down, and enjoy the holidays. So.
No, I hear you on that. A couple more things I wanted to ask you about. There's a great video of you, I think it was on your Instagram, where you had the Proper 12 whiskey and you poured it out. Just the response you got after that, I'm sure you had a lot of Connor fans coming after you.
I did. Which was kind of the
point. Yeah.
that was the plan. I wanted it to be a little bit more playful. I was expecting people to kind of tag their friends, but people, Connor's fanboys, they are very sensitive. So
okay, that's good. Is this? Are we seeing you coming out of your shell a little bit more? I mean, that's not something I'd expect from you, but I thought it was hilarious. Do you think we'll see more of that, especially now that you're becoming that you are a dad, and I'm sure you want to open up a little bit more.
Yeah, it's something I'm trying to make a point to do, is come out of my shell, kind of show my personality a little bit more. It's fighting's kind of it's a hard industry to be in, because not only do you have to be an athlete, you also have to be a character and have a persona and do all these things. And I always stayed pretty quiet, and I didn't really let that stuff out there because I just wanted to kind of just fight, but it doesn't really help you out that much. So now I'm realizing that and trying to make an effort to be out there a little bit more and
take care of business. No, I hear you on that. Just want to get your quick thoughts. Everyone's been talking about UFC 229. I'm sure you watched it, and what happened after with Khabib Nurmagomedov jumping into the crowd. Just your reaction to seeing that as a martial artist and a fighter that's on the UFC roster.
I mean, the UFC created it. They took a felony, got it on footage and cut a promo with it, and then just let Conor do and say whatever he wanted to. So, of course, what do you expect to happen? And then, I don't know, my thoughts on it. Like, I do think there needs to be some lines kind of drawn as the bar set to get, eyes on the fight, and from, to draw fans in. Like, the next time it's going to have to be bigger. So what's going to happen next? Like, Vitor Belfort made a post about it the following day about, we need to have guidelines, because, what's going to be next? We let this happen, and some fighters are going to come along and he's going to want to get views. Maybe he brings a gun, to the weigh-ins or something, and flashes a gun, which sounds crazy, but is it really? These things cannot happen. If you do these things, like, you're suspended. No questions. You don't take that and then cut it into a promo. So I do think there needs to be some boundaries set.
Okay, I like that, and certainly excited to see where you end up next, whether it is in the UFC or elsewhere, Jordan. I appreciate the time. I know you got double duty with dad stuff and also training. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you have any sponsors or shout-outs, the floor is yours, sir.
Double J MMA. That's on all social media platforms. Spelled out DOUBLEJMMA. Sponsors, American Ethanol. That's my day one. I love all the people over at American Ethanol. They've been there with me, for me, helped me out throughout my whole career. Stay classy meats, vitamin energy, and then the people over at Ray's Grill, helping me out with Jack's Meals. So I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate you having me on the show. And Jack says thank you too.